Hi, I'm Don. Today I'm going to share with you 5 tips on how to better prime your miniatures or prime your miniatures better. I will be extra frank and honest today, and there's a possibility my Vallejo bosses will kill me after this video. If you're still using the surface primer for army painting, stop. I highly recommend you use Mecha primers for a more durable finish. Also, of course, you could use water to thin your paints, but I highly recommend my thinning sauce, especially if you're painting army painting or bigger models like gunpla. Thinning with just water and for airbrushing or brush painting, of course, works for water-based paints, but in my opinion, it's a marketing poop, and I'll tell you why. Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to my studio. This channel is supported by these brands. The thinning sauce. The thinning sauce is basically around 3 parts thinner and 1 part flow improver. You could do away without the thinner, but you can't do away without the flow improver. The flow improver helps with the tip drying, and also you'll have a smoother, not finish, but a smoother painting session if you use the flow improver. Another marketing poop, in my opinion, is the highly pigmented stuff, because all good brands are highly pigmented. You might even see videos of marketing poop that painting or airbrushing with paints with really good coverage, and it's being painted in one heavy coat. That's just a marketing ploy to entice you that the coverage is really good. Any good paint brand can do that. However, it is always more advisable to paint in thin coats. The third tip is to paint the details and crevices first. If you do not paint the details first, the tendency is that you're going to flood the whole piece, and then you'll realize that the details are not painted yet and you're going to paint another layer. So if you don't do this, the tendency of painting more and more layers just to have a good coverage is very high. So if you painted the details and crevices first, and it's very easy to paint the whole model, the bare areas of the model, you won't really need to flood the model with primer or paint. Of course, you have to paint the undersides and the other sides of the model or all over the model, but make sure you paint the crevices and the very tight corners of the model first before you paint the whole thing. Painting with black primer, it is very important to really paint the whole thing, especially the tight corners and crevices. Because if you paint the next color or the base color, leaving these tight corners black is okay because they will look like natural shadows. Now you see in the video, after painting all the details and crevices, I'm painting the rest of the model, and it's easier. Now you get a nice full coverage in 2 thin coats without flooding the miniature. Now, can you do a final heavier coat? Of course you can. At this point of the painting, this is actually the 3rd coat already, but notice that I did not say it's a thick coat. I said it's a heavier coat because I'm painting in a heavier coat, but still not thick coat, and yet not misty and very thin coat. So I'm painting in a heavier coat, but don't flood your miniature. However, you'll notice that I'm kind of flooding the groundwork because that is texture paint, and I want to really make those textures super black so that when I dry brush them later, they will remain black and they will serve as like shadows for the rest of the overall look of the model. Also, you'll notice that I'm painting a heavier coat around the rim of the miniature, the base, the plastic base of the miniature, because I want that to be durable, extra durable, because you don't want that to be like chipping after you painted the whole thing. I don't always show on my videos that I use the hair dryer a lot because my hair dryer is ugly. However, much like here in the priming of these miniatures, I highly recommend that you use the hair dryer in between coats. So we painted these models in 3 thin and a bit heavy coat in the last final coat, and I use a hair dryer in between those coats. Basically, the hair dryer will force cure the paints in between coats. Thus, I think it's one of the main reasons why I have a very nice, durable finish. So, if you're doing army painting or painting models like Gunpla articulated models, I highly recommend the Mecha primers and varnishes. However, if you're just doing display pieces and you don't actually play with your miniatures or with your models like Gunpla, the old school and classic surface primer will do. The only caveat to using the Mecha primer is that it has a semi-satin finish. Especially if you kinda give it a heavier final coat, you'll see that it has a satin finish. However, if you just stay with mist, very thin coats, you'll end up with a more matte finish. You could see here in the video that my dark chasm models, the smaller models, are more matte because I stayed with like painting with just very thin mist coats. We officially highly recommend that you let these paints or primer cure for 24 hours for a maximum durable finish. That's it, Pansit! Now, this is not official, but honestly, the Mecha primers and Mecha paints, you could actually like handle them already after a couple of hours. I hope this video kinda enlightened you with some marketing poops that paint brands are using these days, and I hope you found the video informative. That's it, we're done. I hope you liked the video. Do like, comment, subscribe, and consider joining the channel so that you'll be part of our Discord community. Saludos!